Hello, I'm Danny Trussell, and I'm going to give this a short video today, and it's basically dealing with the purpose of life. May you ask, you probably ask the question, what is the purpose of life, or what is my purpose of life? And that's one of the questions that everybody faces at some point in time. Uh, Many voices speak out to us, saying, do this or do that, follow your passion. What's the desire of your heart? Follow it. Where do you go to make the most money? Follow that place. And the answers to those questions can be difficult to decide what is the answer, or difficult to find. But I think there's basically one purpose for life, why we're all here. And I believe that is summed up in the word love. We are called, we are purposed to love one another, to love each other. And with that purpose of love, I think it's basically a threefold purpose. There's three parts. Number one, it's loving God. Number two, it's loving your neighbor. And number three, it is making the world a better place. If we're going to love, we're going to do those things. The first one, the first thing let's talk about is love. Love, what is love? I mean, there's many definitions. There are different kinds of love. There's family love. There's romantic love. There's love of neighbor, and love of friends. I should put it that way. And then there's love of God. And there's different things about it. But what is love in essence? I can say, I may feel love in my heart for someone. I may have a passion for someone of love, a passion of love for someone. Then if I do those things, actually, I'm going to be making a commitment to them, because that's what it comes down to. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend fall in love magically somehow, however it happens, and I'll explain what goes on to the chemistry of the mind and heart when that happens. But then they make a commitment to one another, and that is to love. They take vows in marriage. People wonder about marriage these days, but anyway, I believe it's a real good institution. They make the vows, they take vows, and they commit to one another. And so you may have passions, you may have desires for another person, for a job. I used to have a real passion for the band. Actually, I still do have a passion for marching bands especially, but whatever passion you may have, that can fluctuate. Your love for a person, a husband's love for a wife, a wife's love for a husband can fluctuate. Things happen, and you may not love as much as you did, or you may not feel that love as much as you did, or you may not feel that passion you did for someone or something. That can come and go, but a commitment that you make can be something that you stick with, rather, no matter how you feel. Maybe up, you may be down, you may wake up in the morning and think, oh gosh, what am I doing here? But the commitment you make the decision, okay, I'm here, and I will stick with it. We may not understand why God does all sorts of things, and we may not understand why things happen. But if we choose to love God and follow Him, then we make commitment to Him. And in essence, I'll say, what does it mean to love God? Jesus said, if you love me, you'll obey my commandments. So we do what God says. In essence, well, there's much more to be said on that topic, but that's basically what love is. And when we love God, we're going to be doing what God says, and we're going to be obeying Him. Now, Jesus, when He was talking to this lawyer, He said the greatest commandment is love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. The second thing He said was love your neighbor as you love yourself. That was the second greatest commandment. And He went on to say all the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. He didn't say the greatest commandment was don't steal. He didn't say the greatest commandment was don't commit adultery. He didn't say the greatest commandment was don't give false witness or lies about your neighbor. He said love your neighbor. Love God and love your neighbor. If you love your neighbor, you're not going to do those things to your neighbor. You're not going to do those things to other people if you love people, if you really love. That's the essence there. But those two things, all the law of the prophets and all those, hang on those two commandments in the Judeo-Christian faith. But I think they have benefit for everyone, actually. Love. Loving God and understanding who He is, then loving your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, if you love your neighbor as you love yourself, you got to love yourself first, huh? You ever think about that? Maybe you have. In this day and time, that kind of goes around. There's a lot about self these days, and that's why I bring God in the picture. Where does God have to do with all this stuff? Well, we touched on that. There's more to say, but not time here today. but loving your neighbor as you love yourself. How you love yourself. How do you love yourself? Why do you need to love yourself first? Well, you have to love yourself so you know how to love your neighbor. What is it you want? What is it you desire? You can be selfish and take unto yourself, and then you can just go and go and go. And then actually you could die without taking care of yourself, without loving yourself. Now, let me say it this way. When you're on the airplane, many of you probably been on an airplane, you are sitting there and the flight attendants giving all the instructions if something should happen, and they say, if the oxygen mask falls in case of an emergency, the mothers, fathers, parents, guardians, put your mask on first before you put your child's on. Why do they say that? You got to take care of yourself so you can take care of your child. And you get the oxygen, you can breathe, and then you can see to put things on the oxygen mask on your child and take care of your child. Same way with many, many other things. We have to take care of our own health. We have to take care of our body, our mind, our soul, spiritual. We're responsible for ourselves, ultimately, not my neighbor, but I'm responsible for me. I've got to take care of myself in order that I can take care of other people and love other people. Jim Rohn is a Christian business philosopher. He's deceased now, but I used to listen to him a lot. And one of the things he said was, I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me. That's an amazing thought, I think. And that's basically loving your neighbor as you love yourself. I'll take care of you for me if you take care of you. I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me. When we can do that, the world will be a better place. Again, there's much more to say about that. Let's talk about what Jesus said to a lawyer, to the guy. He said, well, who is my neighbor? And Jesus went on not give a direct answer, but to who his neighbor was. But who is the neighbor? He told a story. He said there was a guy that's going down a road to Jericho from Jerusalem one day, and he was accosted by robbers. They beat him up, stripped him, left him for dead, and here he's lying on the side of the road. Maybe he looks dead. I don't know. A priest walks by, looks down there, and he walks on the other side of the road and heads on into town. A Levite walks by. He's a holy man of God. Looks at him, and then walks on into town. Samaritan comes by, and he looks at him. And he says, wow, this guy's hurt. And he bends down to take care of him. He tends to his wounds. He puts him on his donkey, carries him to the inn. And there he takes care of him. And the next day he pays the innkeeper some money. And then he don't want to lose my train of thought here. Excuse me. He tells the innkeeper, I'm going to go off right now, but you take care of him. When I return, I'll reimburse you any expenses that you've had to put out for this man. And then Jesus looked at the guy and says, which one was the neighbor? And the guy says, well, it's the one who took care of his needs. Then Jesus said, go and do likewise. So it wasn't about who our neighbor was as so much as being a neighbor, being a friend. You want friends, you want people to have around, then you need to be a friend, and you need to be a neighbor to take care of other people. Now, the next point I had on love was making the world a better place. Love God, love your neighbor as you love yourself, and then make the world a better place. If we're loving God and we're loving our neighbor, then we're going to, in essence, follow through and look to how we can make the world a better place by loving neighbors who are in need. Maybe not the person next door to us, who lives next door to us, but maybe someone who is across the world, or who is in another society or in another part of town that maybe we don't go to very much, or maybe a place that we consider very dangerous. Then again, it could be someone who lives right next to us. What are their needs? What can we do to make them better, to make the place that I'm in a better place? I guess it boils down to what I can do that is good. What good can I do to another person? person to the world, for the world. I may not be able to go someplace, but I may be able to send support to a mission such as those help get young children out of sex trafficking. I may be able to support someone who's building a water well somewhere that has poor water facilities, sickening water facilities, and I could help build a water well there. You could too. And this is sort of things here that you could look at and doing, and your purpose in your life. You may have some other applications for your life. What about business? We could do business in an ethical manner that is good for all involved, with fair pricing and fair profits. I don't need to gouge the customer, nor does the customer need to gouge me to get the cheapest price that's hurting me. There needs to be fair dealings in business. And what can I do for other people? What good can I do for other people? Make the marketplace a better place. Well, that's about it for now. And maybe I'll say some more later. But have a great day, and thank you for spending your time with me right now. Bye-bye.